So hi, my name is Sarah, and I am the mother of twin girls, Addison and Elora. They were born April 30th, 2022 at 27 weeks. So they are extreme preemies. September of 2022, so they would have been approximately 2 months adjusted, but 5 months old. And adjusted age is used for preemies. So for developmental purposes, they were 2-month-olds. And we started our journey really then because I was noticing that they both had a preference to look one direction, opposite sides for each of them, of course. And it was like they really would never turn the other way. And it was starting to lead to a flat head on one side. So in the September, we started them with physio to do stretches to try and encourage them. And I was really starting to focus on encouraging them to look the other way while at home. So making them look in the other direction, trying to, when they're sleeping, trying to turn their head the other way, etc. Around, I'd say, December, we switched physio clinics and flatness was really prominent and I felt pretty concerned about it. So we were recommended to check out helmets by the physiotherapist that we were seeing there. And ROKband was one of 2 suggestions that were made. So I started doing some research and it was like the holiday season, so it was hard to get an appointment. But I did book appointments with both clinics and ROKband was first. So if memory serves, our first appointment would have been in December. And I think Elora was the one who had worse flattening. And it was determined that yes, pretty severe plagiocephaly, so she'll likely need a helmet. We were coming back in the new year to have Addison assessed as well. So we weren't gonna make any moves with Elora yet. We were gonna wait until we knew both of them. And then, so that's kind of how it started. In a nutshell, we never went to the second place because I really fell in love with ROKband. So I canceled that second assessment in the end. I definitely had some concerns. First of all, being a preemie NICU mom, I really struggled with the idea of having their heads covered because they were in CPAP machines for so long. And just personally, from my own trauma, like that, I just didn't like the idea of them being like restricted and covered. I also had concerns with it restricting their movement because physio for severe torticollis, which is where they have a tight neck muscle, which leads them to only look one direction. So I was really concerned that the helmet was going to set us back in terms of the progress we were making with physio and all of that, because I was concerned it might restrict their movement in some way. I was also just concerned that they would find it uncomfortable. I was concerned that they would find it heavy, and we were working on tummy time at home, and I was worried they wouldn't be able to lift their head up as much as they otherwise could have. So those were some of the big concerns that I had prior to starting. So once we started with our helmets, I was full in. They give you a transition period. So, day 1, this many hours, day 2, that many hours. I'm pretty sure day 1, we did 8 hours. Day 2, we were 23 hours a day. And the 1 hour they didn't have it on was like bath time, basically. All of my concerns were really put aside. The helmets are very light. They don't restrict their movement. They kind of go up at the back of the neck. So they were able to do their, tummy time and lift their head as much as they could otherwise. It didn't seem to bother them. The first night, they might have been a little fussed, but after that, it did not bother them at all. Putting it on, taking it off, sleeping with it, tummy time, they seemed totally fine with it, which was really great for me. And they wore it the whole time. So we started when they were 5.5 months adjusted. So that's really the age that they were developmentally. And that's also when they started daycare. So, daycare had no problems with it, and they never took it off for when they were sleeping at daycare or anything like that. So all of my concerns were pretty much gone. I think really because the girls did so well with it, like they didn't seem to mind it. And like I said, they're light, they're kind of cute. The staff at ROKband are awesome, like absolutely wonderful. I always felt like they were, happy to answer all of my questions. And I'm a question, like I ask a lot of questions. I like to understand and know and so once they do like the head scan, all your results go on the screen, and I was able to take photos and ask questions, and I was shown the different angles and what progressed or what didn't progress, and I never felt like we were being rushed. Another thing that was really great, Addie graduated, I think a little bit before Elora, but they still did a couple of extra checks on assessments on Addie's head, because we were going in anyway just to make sure she hadn't regressed. I really like the fact that you go back afterwards to check for regression, and I just felt very supported. I felt like, if I had wanted to come back again, I feel like I would have been welcomed back. After we graduated, I was pretty confident and pretty happy. Also, when you buy the ROKband, you get, like, if you need it, one other helmet. I never, I felt like they were more than happy to do that. Like, yep, she's grown out of this helmet. We can't adjust it anymore, so we're gonna order her a new one. I felt like we were just really supported. If I was to, give a general recommendation to other parents, I would say do it. Some people say it's just aesthetic, and if they're a girl and they grow long hair, you won't see it if there's like slight flattening or something like that. And that's all well and good. But then I was told that if it's severe enough, which I think my girls were pretty on the border of being pretty severe, it can actually make hockey helmets or bike helmets not fit as well. So that's actually an actual risk that I don't want to put them through, potentially for the rest of their lives, right? Hazard in that sense, or they'd have to get a special helmet that fit their head that was a different shape. You have really one opportunity to do it. It's a small time frame, and I get it, money's a factor. I would say reach out if you have benefits with work, reach out to them, because my benefits did cover a portion of it, which was helpful. But even if they didn't, I think I still would have done it, and I would do it again, because like I said, you get one chance to kind of fix it, and there's no way to know if their head will, even out on its own. There's no, you can hope, you can really work on turning them the other way at home and this and that, but there's no way to know. And then if it doesn't and you miss the window, you're kind of out of luck. I will also say that ROKband was really great. We had to go back week after week quite a couple times, because Addie's it was rubbing in one place, and then she would get a sore here or something like that. And that's all part of just finding the right fit. And all the staff were more than happy to have us. I would send photos via email, and they'd say, okay, let's get you back in, leave it off her for this long, let's get you back in, readjust it. And so they really make sure it fits perfectly. And I'd say, yeah, if you can make it work, definitely do it. I mean, you won't regret it at all.